Well, good morning and happy Monday to you. Welcome into the Real Monica Adams Show. Be sure to check out my social media. Gabriel Bell did a wonderful job doing a little tease for you of our Halloween set, which you'll see a little bit more throughout the show. Yes, we're all getting ready for that. What are your kids going to be for Halloween? Let me know that. I'd love to have you drop in the comments your kids, your grandkids, nieces, nephews, etc. What are they planning to be this year? I can't wait to see that. Our particular neighborhood is not the best for a bunch of kids to come around, so I always like to go to friends' houses. My friend Michelle, who of course you all know that used to work with the show, her neighborhood in Fenton was one of the best. I mean, I swear they had about 700 kids that came through, and it was just a party all night long. The bonfire, sitting out on the driveway. So yeah, what do you do for Halloween? I'd love to know that. I can't believe it is just around the corner. Definitely feeling like it. We're going to give you some weather news you can use, some sports news. What an incredible weekend. Did you watch that Mizzou game? Okay, let's talk about that. We'll get into that for you in just a second. And then we're going to inspire you. My guest today, Jamie Thurber. Do you know the podcast Operation B? We'll talk about that. Also, we have some really exciting news about the production company that we've been telling you that we are a part of, the name change, the branding aspect, and what we have planned for you. Also, we'll talk some barbecue sauce and inspiration. Also, you remember Tony Twist, a former St. Louis Blues enforcer? It's his fiance, by the way. So we've got a lot to talk about. She went dress shopping. No, we're not going to show you the dress, but we'll show you the fun that she went through. So all of that coming up for you. Feel free to drop comments in. Let us know if you're brand new to the show, someone introduced you, where you found us, all of the good things, right? And so people over the weekend said, Monica, I'm not on Facebook. That's why we're on multiple channels for you. So if you don't know, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, X, Rumble, LinkedIn, and we added Twitch. So we're live on all of those every morning, Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. And I saw a huge change to our YouTube subscribers. I think there's about an extra 400 or 500 that happened over the last few days. You all heard me say that we're going to start dropping in special content just for you. And so that's why you have to subscribe. So even if you're on our Facebook, be sure to go over and subscribe to YouTube. Okay. So that's a rundown of the hour. Let's get to the very first part of it, which is a segment we call What the Weather.
Good evening from St. Louis, Missouri, and it is a beautiful one.
Are appreciative of GradeWorks LLC, the sponsor of our What the Weather segment. Not only did he want to be a part of inspiration, he wanted to further the education of our aspiring meteorologist, Beckett Moore. So you can find Mike Vernacci and his team at gradeworksmo.com. That's grade WRX. mo.com. We have him coming over, giving us a bid on our driveway. So yes, he does some asphalt work. He does excavating. He does grading work for you, removes all the eyesores from your property. Don't do it yourself. Let him do it. And again, support those that support us. All right, let's see how he is doing. He's on break. I told you guys on Friday, I just absolutely love this kid, don't you? First of all, good morning, Beckett. How are you this morning?
I'm good. How was your weekend?
It was good. Now, I was wanting to know, after you got done with the show on Friday, did you go back to bed?
Yes, I did. For a few hours.
So come on, folks. If you didn't tune in on Friday, yeah, he got up just to do the show for you, to give you the weather forecast, and then he went right back to bed. You're off again today, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
And you're going to go back to bed?
Yes.
I love you. Okay, so you were absolutely correct with regards to what we could expect on Saturday. We got all of it at our house. Some heavy storms. We had a little bit of hail out there, so it wasn't the best, and it definitely brought in windier conditions and colder conditions. So we see the change in that for sure. So are we expecting a pretty cold week, or is it going to get warmer as we get into next weekend?
Yeah, overall, this entire week is going to be below average in the mid-60s or highs, although we will warm up, like you said, into the weekend, getting into the low 70s by early next week.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to let it to be, again, some of your kids might be off school just like Beckett is, so maybe not going to the bus stop, but we'll get those kids back to school on Tuesday. So Beckett, take it away. Let us know what the week looks like.
Yeah, so looking at the current conditions right now, it was a chilly one out there this morning. Fair skies, 47 as our temperatures, 36 as our dew point. Sunrise today, 7:15 here in a few minutes. 6:16 will be our sunset tonight. Bus stop forecast as we head into this afternoon, warming up to 71 degrees and those sunny skies. And then looking at the 7-day outlook, again, 71 was our high today, low 48 tonight, dropping down into the mid-60s on Tuesday for tomorrow, those are also sunny skies, and keeping those sunny skies all the way through Thursday, 66 on Thursday, 60 on Friday, 64 on Saturday. Both days we're looking at rain chances, but we do still need that rain to fully get out of this drought we're in. And then as we head into Sunday, getting back into the lower 70s.
Okay, so I have a special favor. You've got a beautiful forecast right now on Sunday. Make sure that that rain does not try to creep into Sunday because we've got a big event on Sunday, okay? That's your task.
I'll try. Yeah.
All right, Beckett, night-night. Go back to bed.
Thank you.
All right, love you. Again, it's Beckett Moore, our aspiring meteorologist. Isn't he amazing? Going back to bed, but he gets up for you because he is dedicated. So if you want to drop in a comment for him and say, thank you to Beckett for almost 2 years of being with our show. We've watched him grow up right here on the Real Monica Adams Show. So yes, we do have a big event coming up on Sunday. I'll get to for you in just a bit. It's called Faith in the Fields, and I've been talking about it since last Friday. It's going to be amazing. So whether you are new with your walk with Christ, whether you are intrigued, whether you think, nope, he's not there for me, well, this is the day that we're going to be on fire with our souls, mentally, physically, spiritually. It's going to be at Le Champ des Fleurs by Stone Soup Cottage, and it's going to be myself and also wellness expert Brittany Phelps, the owner of Le Champ des Fleurs, which is Nancy McConnell. I am so excited. This is only the beginning. So some of you said, oh gosh, darn it, I want to go to that so bad, but I'm not available on Sunday. This is not a one and done. Trust me, we've got so much planned for you. So we'll do a guided meditation. We'll do breathing out in the beautiful wildflowers. Actually, this is the tease that I did for you on Friday. Hey everyone, where am I? Where you're going to be on Sunday, October 26th. Look at this. Is it not the most beautiful green setting? I don't think there's a better place for us to come together. Yoga, journaling. You've all been telling me you've been waiting for a retreat. Well, it's here. It's a special pop-up, and we're going to do Faith in the Fields. Everything that you need to work on your mental, physical, spiritual health. Come along with me and Brittany Phelps. We are going to get your body, your soul, and your mind on fire. Join us for Faith in the Fields on the 26th. And okay, so it's on our website. You can go to my events page and go straight to the 26th, this Sunday, to purchase your tickets. Again, it's that simple. I've already had, I think, about 12 of you that have bought your tickets already. We are only going to have 40 tickets available, so don't wait on this one. We'll do a wait list just in case somebody has to drop out. But 40 tickets, and it's an exclusive event just to kick things off. And I'm telling you, we went there on Friday, and it's just absolutely stunning to see all the flowers. I hope that the rain on Friday and Saturday doesn't do anything to how beautiful they are right now. So that's again coming up for you on Sunday. You've all been asking for when is there going to be another retreat. There you go. We are delivering and we are hearing you. Okay, let's get you up to date. I told you we give you news you can use. No reason to turn into the negativity of the news anymore. We give you what you need. And a lot of you may have been affected by this. I'm starting to hear that about 5:30 this morning, it started to get better, but there was Amazon Web Services outage that caused disruptions worldwide. Were you affected by this? The cloud-based service hosts many websites for companies like the government, universities, many media organizations, just to name a few. Several users reported having issues trying to use Snapchat, Roblox, the McDonald's app, etc., many other services, according to the Associated Press. They began investigating the issue just after 2 o'clock our time. The company identified a potential cause for the errors about 4 o'clock, saying it stems from an error with DynamoDB. That's a system for managing database tables and indexes. They are seeing a significant change of recovery, though, and by about 5:30 this morning, from what I had heard on the news as I was driving in. So hopefully you're not still affected by that. But in case you were wondering, if again, some people are working with other countries and thinking, what the heck, I can't get onto it. That was the reason. So I'm hoping by now, 7:10 in the morning, that you're starting to get a lot of those back. Did you hear about this at the Louvre? Yes, I'm shocked that this happened, and now they're looking into the investigation, obviously, of this. But Paris's Louvre Museum forced to close after chainsaw-wielding thieves pulled off a 7-minute heist and escaped with jewelry worth millions. It took place at the Louvre in Paris on Sunday. Jewelry worth millions stolen from display cases. The robbers were armed with power tools and fled the scene on motorcycles. Again, it was closed following that 7-minute heist. Thieves broke into into the famous museum, escaping with jewelry. And according to a spokesperson, it took place about 9:30 their time in the morning. Several individuals forcing entry through a window, which had opened its doors to the public. Beyond their market value, these items have inestimable heritage and historical value. The ministers of culture and the interior are on site with the museum's management. And as I mentioned, they are continuing to investigate. Shocked that they were able to get through that because, the security is massive. So that'll be interesting. That story is definitely going to have some legs. I like this for the health news. Mercy is offering genetic testing, identifying individual and family cancer risks. They've announced that its Center for Precision Medicine is launching a screening tool to help identify if someone has a high risk of certain cancers. I've asked you on the show in the past, would you want to know? My answer is yes. Some people are like, no, I would not want to know that. Tell me, if you didn't hear that story in the past, drop in. Would you or would you not want to know the possibility of cancer coming your way? They're offering qualifying patients genetic testing. They're working with the company Tempest to provide that for DNA mutations and hereditary risk factors. With patient screening and family history considered, if a person's deemed high risk, they're offered a blood draw test covering 77 genes. And again, based on results, a doctor could recommend increased screening, risk reduction measures, specific treatment or medications to help treat or maybe prevent the cancer, and then testing for family members as well. All right, we do have a recall. Imagine that almost every day. I swear there's a recall. This time it's ice cream. Publix is recalling the ice cream over an undeclared allergen, which again, more and more allergens, and when they're not labeling it, this could cause some pretty serious issues. The grocery chain said its rich and creamy vanilla ice cream may contain an undeclared egg allergen. The recalled ice cream may also contain a mismatched French vanilla container lid. It was distributed at Publix stores across 6 states, more so in the Southeast, also in Virginia and North Carolina. That includes Florida, but stores in 4 cities are not impacted by the recall. Again, locations in Virginia, North Carolina, not affected. But I know we've got people that watch all over. So if you do go to a Publix, and it's a possibility that you bought this, it had a sell-by date of June 19th of 2026. How many of you know the Greek restaurant? I love this place, Michael's Bar and Grill, right there on Manchester. Have you been there before? Well, unfortunately, they had dine and dash thefts, and they're fighting back now after a recent incident involving a fake $1,000 bill. The restaurant has decided to take a firm stance, warning that photos of non-paying customers will now be posted on social media. The businesses are facing a growing problem of customers leaving without paying, and Michael's has been particularly hard hit. The establishment, which has served the area for 46 years, has seen a worrying spike in dine and dash incidents. Michael's has investigated again the security measures to combat the problem and will continue to do so as they up again, there's security in that area. All right, Thanksgiving. I know Halloween is first and then Thanksgiving. We got to go holiday by holiday, but a lot of you are planning already. This is great. Aldi's is offering customers a full Thanksgiving meal for $40. Shoppers can build a full spread for $10, including the turkey and the ingredients for popular side dishes for $40. Customers will be able to buy the items they need to fill their tables at $4 a person. Again, the holiday feast products and ingredients will be available until December 24th. It's important to note that the actual price will vary based on available products, of course, and your selections, but trying to help out. I love that. All right, let's get into sports. Did you watch the Chiefs game yesterday? Ooh, what a blowout. Kansas City beating the Las Vegas Raiders. The final was 31-0. Next up for the Chiefs is coming up on the 27th. It'll be the Chiefs and the Commanders. That game is at 7:15. All right, I asked, did you see the Mizzou game? It went into double overtime. I was auctioneering on Saturday night. Thank you to Glenn Echo for having me. It was a great event, raised a lot of money, and then was able to watch the game because it went into overtime. It was amazing. So yes, Mizzou beating Auburn. I told you it was going to be split in our house since my husband went to Auburn and I went to Mizzou. But awesome game for sure. If you didn't get a chance to watch it, I hope maybe they'll replay it for you on the SEC network. So Mizzou next up, it's Vanderbilt on Saturday. That game is at 2:30. St. Louis Blues, by the way, they also won. They beat the Stars 3-1. Next up is the Kings at the Blues, and that'll be at 7 p.m. And this one kind of get buried over the weekend. Roman Berkey, everybody kept thinking he was going to leave St. Louis City SC. He re-signed for 2 years, again, through 2027. It makes you believe that they've got something big planned because he could have gone and played anywhere, and we all really thought that he, in fact, was going to. But I love that news for you. Roman Lauren Berkey, staying with St. Louis City SC. All right, what's on tap for our National Day of Calendar? Today, it is National Chicken and Waffles Day. Okay, National Youth Confidence Day, Clean Your Virtual Desktop Day, okay, and National Brandied Fruit Day. Got it. Chicken and waffles. What do you like that for breakfast? I've had it once, maybe. Seems a little strange to me, but it's a big thing, obviously, in Nashville. Hot Nashville chicken and waffles. It's a thing. Definitely. All right, that's it. See, by 15 minutes into the show, you're all up to date with the things that we think are stories that maybe you would talk about with your family, your friends, or we used to call it water cooler talk, right? In the news, you would go to work and then you'd say, hey, did you hear this? Did you hear that? There you go. I've given that all to you. Now, we're going to inspire you. As I mentioned, our guest, Jamie Thurber. She's in studio with me, and we'll talk with Jamie when we return.
I was just on the Real Monica Adams show, and it was really a good experience for me. When I walked in, the building is just peaceful. The environment is beautiful here. Monica really made me feel welcome.
The Monica Adams show allows people to be themselves. It's really important to share kindness, to be real, to offer stories and things that will give people hope and a reason to smile.
Rather than waking up aggravated, disappointed, and wondering, where's this earth going, choose to wake up with something that'll put your mind and your heart in the right direction. Start with Monica.
And welcome back to the Real Monica Adams Show. So thrilled to have you. We see so many new names ever since that show I did last Wednesday, which I think is 25,000 views now. Being real, telling you about the media industry, telling you about what happened to my colleague, Rennie Knott. And we're waiting to see what the actual story is for him to resign after 21 years is just crazy. So let's see. Rose said, if I was younger, yes, the cancer screening, but no, wouldn't want to know at my age now. I understand that. I have enough to worry about. Let's see. Kathy, great Mizzou game. I know. That's horrible. Dine and Dash. Who does that, right? Come on, grow up. Great food at Michael's. Would you be worried the insurance companies would increase the premiums? Oh, Pete, that's a good question. I don't know about that one. Everybody, you can weigh in on that. I would want to know so I could try to take care of it before getting bad. I agree. I would like to know about cancer. So much in my family, Luann says. Good morning, by the way. No, I wouldn't want to know, Kathy says. Good morning, Jeannie Metcalf. Jeannie, are you new? I don't know that name. Good morning, Pamela. Tony, good morning. All you Monica's maniacs that have been here forever. Now we got new ones coming your way. Thanks, Beckett, for getting up to give us our weather report, right? Kathleen, good morning. I'm so looking forward to Sunday. Julie, thank you for getting your tickets already. It's Faith in the Field. Check the website for tickets. Zach says, thank you. Kristen Beckett's great. Wish I could go back to bed. Good morning. Watching from Clearwater Lake in Missouri. Take us with you when you go on vacation. Beautiful, crisp fall morning. Let's see. Janet, we do the same thing in Shrewsbury. We go up to my daughter's house and sit in the driveway with the fire pit and hand out candy to the dozens of kids who come by. Janet, are you new as well? Janet Stribe. Good morning, Ginny, another Antonacci. Good morning. I think that's a new name. My grandsons will be a little pumpkin and the other will be Spider-Man. I want to know what your kids are going to be. We got a lot of good mornings. Good morning. Good morning. One fell swoop. Good morning to all of you. Let me introduce my guest and I'll have her weigh in on some of the news you can use. So Jamie Thurber, good friend of mine, and she and I get a chance to see each other in the hallways on a regular basis. So you may have heard me in the past talk about Punchline Productions, but that name is changing. And I wanted Jamie to come on the show and kind of kick it off, and then you'll see it all over social media. Jamie is a St. Louis-based entrepreneur, life and business coach, and podcast host, Operation B, known for helping people build intentional, sustainable lives and businesses. She is the president of Bare Knuckle Barbecue Sauce. What's that? Well, we'll talk about it. Managing partner of True Line Media Group. Group. That's what it's called now. And the creative behind Home Sweet Defiance, her lifestyle goods brand. She is also living with a chronic illness, which I know a lot of you that watch the show, you've talked about your own struggles in the past. She's right there with you. She's a fierce advocate for building with intention, honoring capacity, living boldly. With her fiance, former St. Louis Blues enforcer Tony Twist, they're Boston Terriers as well, and a life that she's designed on her terms with her heart, her soul, her mind. All right, let's get her to inspire you. Jamie, welcome to the show.
Great intro.
Who wrote that? By the way, let's give you all the information of where you can find Jamie. Again, you can go online to jamiethurber.com. Follow her on social media, again, on Instagram or on X, and watch her podcast. Listen, so how often do you drop a new episode?
Every week, every Tuesday.
Week. And what platforms can they see or listen to?
So they can see it on YouTube, and then we're on all the audio platforms.
There we go. There it is. Operation B, by the way. And we'll talk about how that all came about. Okay, before we do that, so I'm going to have you weigh in on some of the local news you can use and national news you can use. So what will you do for Halloween?
Usually we go to my brother's house.
They have a bunch of kids there?
Yeah, they live in Cottleville. And so since he's had kids, we've always gone trick-or-treating with them.
Yep.
Because as a family, we always did with my mom and dad in their neighborhood. And now my mom, she feels so bad that she leaves her house closed to go to my brother's. But it's really fun. We usually dress up with the kids and go trick-or-treating.
I was just going to ask if you actually dress up.
Yeah.
What will you be this year? Do you know?
This year, I think I'm going to be a witch and hand out candy with my dad at the house.
Does Tony go along with you?
He usually does,
Does he dress up?
He does.
Oh.
Last year he was, I don't even know how to describe it. He was like some scary muscular clown. Like he bought this silicone suit that like zipped up the back. It was wild. He was sweating to death. But he was scaring everyone. So he loved it.
Of course. I love it. So by the way, I mentioned it earlier. A lot of you are fans of Tony. You watch that show. Tony and I both agree. He's like, I got to come back on, Monica. I don't think we like just did like a brushstroke of all the things we could talk about. So we had you two planned together.
Yes.
You were sick that day. And we'll talk about, again, the struggles that you have gone through and different things from that. But Tony and you, how long have you been together?
About 13 years.
13 years.
Yeah.
And they're engaged, by the way.
Yeah.
They are getting married next year, right?
Yep. November 26th.
Chandler Hill?
Yep.
Did I see? Yep.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And you went dress shopping.
Yes, I did about a month ago, probably, with some friends. Actually had a pretty good group. And we went during the day, which I thought was a brilliant idea because then we had kind of the whole place to ourselves.
Right.
And it was pretty great. I felt good in every dress that I put on, which was nice.
And no, none of them are the ones that she chose. So it's not, oh my gosh, I can't believe that you're showing her dress already. We're not. That's not the dress. I saw the dress.
You did, yes.
I'm not saying anything.
One of those was the second runner-up, though. I chose the one I did because I loved it and it was so easy to move around in. And that's kind of our whole theme that we want our wedding to be. We want it to be easy and comfortable and fun. And so I thought, okay, this other dress that I'm like picking this whole big thing up is not going to fit that.
Women need to think about these things when they're picking the dresses. I have a couple that I went to, and one of them was this crazy, I mean, it was stunning. Don't get me wrong. Heavy beaded jacket that was over the top of the dress. I think the thing weighed 20 pounds.
Sure.
It was crazy. And then the other one just had the biggest train ever. I'm like, nobody can come in and give you a hug.
Yes.
Think about those things. If you're just tuning in, Jamie Thurber, again, we've got a lot to talk to Jamie about, but just started with that. I know you've talked about it in the past. And so for those that are in relationships and you've heard people or you give power to those that want to do all of this around you, right? How many people have tried to weigh in on your relationship with Tony since you've been together?
Oh gosh, more than I ever thought would, for sure. Mainly a huge thing is the age difference. Everybody has something to say about that. 19 years.
Okay.
So it's a pretty big age difference, but when you're around us and it's not weird. You can't tell. And we don't think about it at all. At this point, nobody really says anything.
So it was when you first got together?
Yes.
And what were they saying back then?
A lot of people thought that he was just trying to get some, or thought that I was trying to get like a 5 minutes of fame or something. And at the time I was just barely dipping the toe in my own business, and I refused to talk about him online. So very quickly I shut that down because obviously I could have used that if I wanted to, but I didn't want people to hire me because of it.
Well, and I saw something on, I don't know if it was a month or so ago, and I was like, I love this post. And she said, people are always talking about your house. It's your guys' house together. And they're like, oh, that's his house. It's his money. She got to where she is because of him.
Yeah.
You've grown so much and evolved over the years, but if you think back at the beginning of when the two of you got together and hearing all that noise around you? I'm sure it affected you more than it does now because we grow as we age. And again, if only we could go back. Let me ask that. If you could go back to your younger self when people used to say all those things, what would you tell that girl?
Oh, I would tell her not to, really not to worry about it. Everybody said that. Everybody would say, oh, don't worry about what they have to say. But it was very difficult because it hurt and it was destructive to certain parts of our lives. And what I realized though is all those people, they didn't last very long. Eventually they went away.
Sure.
So I would tell her, like, this doesn't last.
No.
Don't let it flip you on your head because it's not going to be here for very long. You will be, we will be.
Yep.
But that person will go away.
Well, and I think people that have followed Tony, you also heard from people of, oh, it's not going to last, or how does he treat you, right? He's been through divorces. Is this what you want?
Oh, yeah, a lot of that. And then especially with also not having children of my own, that was a big conversation. People that I knew 10 years before that came out of the woodwork to say, but I know you really want to have kids. And I'm like, you don't know me. And how, just the audacity is wild.
Right.
That people think that that's okay to call me up and tell me that I must be making a mistake because they think my life should be different than it is.
But look, I always bring people on and I say, see yourself in the story. How many of you are in relationships, or you were, or maybe you've allowed people to ruin a relationship because you believe them more than the person that you're actually with?
Yeah.
Right? You get so caught up in that.
It would have been easy to do, honestly, just because I was younger. I was 24 when we met, and we met nothing to do with hockey. It was his glass company, and I was working in an automotive shop. And so that is when we built a really good friendship. So that was part of what I think helped me, was that when some of those things would come up, I had this man who was also my friend,
Right.
that I could talk to and I could trust.
Yeah.
And so that helped a lot.
Well, and that's the basis of a wonderful relationship, is that you really are best friends.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited for you. I mean, I've known Tony for 30 years, a long time of my career. And I was so happy when I found out that the two of them were together, and I can see it in him. You can see, I mean, you're bringing this youth out in him, right? That's just like this. He's brilliant, by the way. He's such an intelligent man, which is, I don't think a lot of you know that, and just a huge, huge heart. I would like to know how hard it was, because I remember several months ago of you saying, yeah, he doesn't really want to be out there like a lot of the blues players. They're finding another job for themselves, and hey, we're going to continue to do this. So some of them, are in media. Some of them are doing podcasts, etc. He really was more of like, I'm going to stay behind the scenes. But now I'm seeing him step forward. Why is that?
So he is. I think he's realizing. So before, and when Facebook was brand new and he was in his previous marriage, it was not a place that he enjoyed what was happening there.
Gotcha.
Based on, it was just handled differently. And I think now, when I put little things out about him online, or other people tag him in things, he hears about it at his accounts when he's running, and it's always positive. And so I think that he's always been very specific of where he'll put himself, and he still is. But I think he's kind of enjoying that it doesn't have to be, it's not like they're coming into our house and looking, in our bedroom and seeing his every move.
Right.
But we can still show things about his life and his career and those things that are entertaining and fun for people to know. And he can still have his privacy too. I think he's learning that difference.
Right. But that's a really good point to bring up, because a lot of you that think you have to put it all out there, you don't. Just sprinkle in a little bit. Let them see, let them view parts of your life, but also be authentic and real. So we'll discuss that as well. Jamie Thurber, again, we just went straight into from the relationship standpoint. I mentioned earlier that you get what a lot of the people who watch this show, because they're looking for health and wellness and inspiration. So you deal with, from a health standpoint, pretty much daily struggles. Talk about that.
Yeah, so it's gotten better, I'd say, over the last couple of years, but it started in elementary school.
Oh, really? That far back?
Yeah, and no one knew it was wrong. Thank God I have a mom who was crazy advocate. And at the time, she didn't really know that's what she was doing, but it was just people couldn't figure it out. And she's like, I'm watching her. Like, this isn't pretend. Before I was old enough to even make that up, kind of deal. Because a lot of times when you have those chronic symptoms that people can't figure out, they think it's in your head.
In your head, yep.
And so
hypochondriac, right?
100%. And so when you're telling like a 9-year-old, 10-year-old that, I mean, what? It's wild. And so many of the years, nobody had an answer. And I don't have a diagnosis still. There's not one deal. Yeah.
Well, that's got to be even more frustrating.
It is. Some of the testing, when we went through, people were like, oh, we could just do this protocol and it'll clear anything out. But we can do this tests and find out. And I'm like, I need to know. After all these years, I need to know what's there.
So what are your main symptoms?
So I was nauseous for like 20 years, all day long, constantly. there was a GI doctor who found something that was able to decrease that nausea about 3 years ago. And my life has changed drastically because with that nausea going down, I was able to focus on some of the other symptoms. So because of that, though, what we found is that my system was not absorbing nutrition.
Okay.
And so it wasn't taking in, I was eating so well and I was working out and I was doing these things to try to do what everyone thinks makes you feel better. And
Sure.
it wasn't working. And so what we found out was even with water, if I don't do other things, my body doesn't absorb it. And so we're slowly working through things that we've found like in my digestive system that have prevented things from absorbing. And so it's starting to work because I was like unhealthily skinny for a really long time. And just thought a lot of people in my family are thin. So I just kind of thought that was what
Genetics,
it was.
yep.
Yeah. And so 3 years ago, I started gaining weight and I was like, are you freaking out? I mean, yeah, it's kind of weird because I've never had weight on my bones, but this is a good sign.
Right.
It's a really good sign. So I'm going to let my body do whatever it needs to do. And so I'd say these days my symptoms are I just get very lethargic very quickly.
Right.
And so I just have to limit how much I do outward in a day. Like I can see it on my computer and do that work, but as far as socializing or going to a lot of in-person meetings, I just have to limit it still quite a bit.
So this is why we always say to listen. No one knows your body better than you. So listen to it and keep advocating for yourself. But that's got to be frustrating. How many of you have been through the same thing that Jamie has? Feel free to drop a comment in for her, by the way, if you want. I mean, anybody that gets ill, you want an answer right away.
Yeah.
And here you are 2 decades going, I don't know what's going on. This is frustrating.
Yeah.
Right? So every day you wake up, you try to be the best version of yourself, and then something is pulling you back. We're going to take a quick break. So I want to know how Operation B ever came about, right? And how she is helping you, businesses, again, inspiring you to be the best versions of yourselves, and all of the clients that she's worked with, what she's most proud of with regards to that. We'll have more with Jamie Thurber when we return.
Thankful to Monica for having me on the show here today. I just love having the opportunity to try and help other people. There are a lot of people in my life that were there for me in my time of need, and that was important for me today to talk to Monica about that. You know, you can get low and then work yourself back up to where you want to be, and people around you can help you do that. Surround yourself with the right people. That's what Monica tries to do here with this show. In fact, I know that's what she wants to do, is she wants people that are like-minded to help each other, to point each other in the right direction, to lift each other up, not put each other down. It was amazing for me to sit in here and talk with Monica, and hopefully it helps somebody along the way. I know that every show that she puts on is fantastic. It's worth your while to be tuning in every single day. Don't worry about some of the negativity around the world, whether it's on TV and this, that, the other. Tune in here to Monica and let her tell her story as well as her guests tell their story. There's always something that you can get from somebody else. And if you pick up just one little thing that helps you, that makes this a success. And that is why I'm here with Monica today.
Welcome back to the Real Monica Adams Show. Again, Jamie Thurber, my guest. We've talked about a handful of things, but we want to get into this next half hour and really help inspire you, which is what she's been doing with people, businesses, again, from a coach standpoint. Let me ask a couple questions that our viewers are asking. They want to know, do you like hockey?
I like to watch it live. I do not really enjoy watching it on TV. It's hard to follow, I think. I was not a hockey fan before
you weren't?
we met. No.
Interesting.
So we would be sitting, I'll never forget one of our functions we went to with Pat Byrne. Tony had to go do something. So he's like, here, stand here with Bob and he'll make sure you get to the right table. I'm like, okay. So I'm just standing with this man all night. And we wind up joking around all night long and we leave. And he's like, do you know who that was?
Was it Plager?
Yeah. I said, no. And he's like, it's Bobby Plager. I'm like, I don't know who that is. He's like, you should probably Google him. And so I did. And I was like, oh, and he's one of my all-time favorite people around the alumni, you know, like the alumni suite is not the same
No.
without him.
No.
So those times where I'm like, I don't know who that is. But I think that's why we work.
I was just going to say, because look, if she was fangirling, right? And like, oh my gosh, can you introduce me to Brett Hall, to Kelly Chase, who they're all great friends, right? I want to meet Chris Prunger. I want to meet this person, that person. It would be like, you don't want to date me or love me for who I am, right? It's, who are these people? Oh, okay, great. They're nice people, but I don't care that they're a professional hockey player, right? Let's see. You have this health issue, but you're accomplishing so much. Girl power. Amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Congratulations, Jamie. Age means nothing. We have 11 years difference. Seems like people think about it more than we do, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
for sure.
Yeah, it's like, why? Why is everybody so hung up on it? Okay, so from the Operation B standpoint, your original podcast was called something else. You tabled it for what, a year?
A year or so,
And then brought it back. So what was the original name?
The Lifestyle Creation Podcast.
And when did you start that?
In 2008, 19,
Okay.
18 or 19.
And then so was it from a timing standpoint of why you tabled it? Or
It was because I had, my symptoms kind of reached a peak at one point. And I was actually so it would get really sick when I would travel. And I would just do it anyway. And I'd give myself an extra day to kind of bring myself back. And then I'd go to the conference and do the thing and pretend like I was fine. And that wasn't even really pretending. It's just what my body had gotten accustomed to doing to function, basically. And this last trip to Utah, I was staying with a friend and I couldn't control it. I was so sick. And I called Tony and I said, I think that I'm going to drive home. And he was like, did you look at how far the drive is? And I said, yeah, it's 19 hours and I don't care. I cannot put my body back on an airplane. There was just something inside of me that said, what a jerk thing to do to yourself to get back on an airplane when you already don't feel well and you know what it's going to do. And so that was a pivotal point for me where we really went all in with functional medicine and all the testing and finding whoever. We went to one of Tony's doctors who is an orthopedic surgeon, but is very, very intuitive about medicine. And he's like, I don't care what we have to do. We will figure out what's wrong with you. So he kind of started me down a different path. And it was during that time that I realized I promised myself when I started my brand that I wouldn't fake it with people.
Right.
And I was going to have to fake it on those episodes.
Yeah.
And so I stopped and I just said, you know what, it's okay. And during that time frame is because prior I had to push and do was the only way I could function. And so during this break, I realized that was not helping.
So I don't know if you saw the show a week ago, but what you were doing and what a lot of us women do, you were doing rushing woman syndrome, which I can't believe that it has a title, but I'm like, yes, it all makes so much sense.
Yeah.
That we think we have to do everything and we put every aspect of ourselves on the back burner.
Yep.
Especially when you're dealing with a health issue. You know in your mind, I've got to take care of me first. Nope, I'm going to take care of everybody else.
Yeah. And learning that I didn't realize that I was really acting in like a completely disassociated state. Somehow I found a way to still connect to my clients. That's like a magic weird thing that my body somehow figured out in spirit. But it was learning that I was no longer willing to do that to myself anymore.
Good.
And so when I had a little freak out moment, like identity crisis in the middle, where I was, this was such a big part of my identity and what I was teaching. How do I come back and still help? And I had a moment where I realized that it was in my education with self-learning how to be, that I could teach other women and other people how to do that too.
Well, and in that lapse of a year, what do you think you grew in most to then bring it back and then bring it and actually change the name to Operation B? What did you grow? What was the greatest growth, I should say, in that year?
I'd say knowing that it was okay to not constantly be doing something.
Ding, ding, ding.
I started crocheting during that time because
Really?
I'm like sitting and I'm like, I don't know what to do with my hands. This is weird. Trying to watch TV, but then I would like write a lot of stuff and I'm like, this is still work. What are you doing?
What brought you to crocheting?
So my grandma used to
I
crochet
love
and
that.
she would never teach me because she'd been doing it her whole life. She grew up on a farm and she said, and she was left-handed and I'm right-handed. And so she's just like, I don't know how to teach you. And then I found a little kit and I did the kit.
You self-taught.
Yeah. So
Oh, I
you can
love it.
Woobles is actually a great thing.
What is it?
Woobles.
Woobles.
So cute. There's all these little things. I mean, I do have a bunch of them at this point because they're fun to make, but it teaches you the basic skills. And that was something that helped because it felt like I was accomplishing something.
Is your grandma still alive, by the way?
She's not,
Ah, but I
no.
bet you
I
she's
know.
looking down from heaven, proud of you.
Oh, my aunts and my dad and stuff are like, oh, look at grandma over there. She would love that. So yeah, it's fun. But what it is, it's also you feel accomplished, but
Yes.
you're so present. You have to be because you're counting stitches and you're in the moment. And that was what was necessary because when I was feeling so terrible and having to do so many things, I would disassociate so much from that moment. And this forced me to be in it.
Look,
That
I
was the
can see,
biggest
I'm
growth
doing
thing.
this.
Yep,
Do you have a rocking
rocking.
chair? You have to have a rocking chair when you knit.
Oh, I even got this special lamp at one that like comes over so I can see. It's a whole thing.
If you're just tuning in, again, we're talking with Jamie Thurber, and we're mentioning Operation B. So you bring it back. When did Operation B come back?
It came back about a year ago.
Okay. And
Yeah.
so she is doing this for you again every week. What are you most proud of since you launched this?
Oh, I think coming back and being really honest about the fact that I wasn't the get shit done girl anymore because that's what it was before. And that was always a part of me, but it wasn't the identity. And it's scary, right? When you've created a brand off of something,
Sure.
but just knowing that it didn't matter. I had to be honest and I knew there were people out there that needed it. And getting the feedback and having people say thank you and thank you for, I'm not alone in those moments like that's really why I like to do it. And that's the proud piece for me.
And for those that have not had a chance to see a show or hear a show, give them the overview of here is what you'll hear on Operation B.
Well, I like to talk to people about how they live a little differently. And so because a lot of people like Angie that comes on with you, I've had Angie on the show.
Angie has from Spas and More.
Yeah. So we have come on the show because she is running this company. She's so kind. She cares for people. She's doing all this health for herself. And I wanted to talk about how she figured out how to do that for herself too. So I talk to a lot of business owners, but I like to ask questions that maybe other people aren't asking them. So how do you focus during the day? Like when I had you on my show, tell me how you get yourself present in the morning and just learning the pieces of someone else's story, but seeing that they're not different than you, that they're have a life and a family and a business or a job or whatever, and they're still making space to care for themselves. And so I like to pinpoint those moments on the show just so that it's not just me. See, there's other people that are, we are all trying to juggle and figure this out together. And then you have all these examples.
I was just going to say, and the more you hear that, the more you
Yeah.
realize, okay, I'm not alone in this. Holy cow, that person has dealt with it, and now I see them overcoming.
Yeah.
Right? It's all of that. So was from your coaching standpoint, from a business standpoint, life coach, et cetera, how many years have you been doing that?
10 years.
10 years now.
Yeah.
And so you have worked with hundreds and hundreds of different businesses. What do you see? Is there an underlying theme of why people come to you, what they've heard about what you can do for them?
Yeah. So it's cool because with my style, I guess you could call it, is that I don't only work with one business type. I do have some people because I have a long history in automotive repair. So I do have a couple shops that I still work with. But everybody else that comes, it seems that they have the thing in common is that they know that they want more out of their life, but they're not sure how to do it.
Right.
They don't want to be the stereotypical, all I do is work person. And they come to me not sure how to shift it.
Sure.
Or I hate my job, I want to figure something else out. And typically they don't really hate their job. It's just the way they're going about their lives. And so being able to dissect that and find out what the actual root is that's making them feel, whether it's kind of like antsy, like they need to do something else, or like a workaholic. And sometimes people are just using that as a way to avoid other things.
Right.
And so we're able to find those pieces of also just giving them permission to know, like, it's okay that you feel this way. It's okay that this is happening. I think more often than not, I have my clients telling me, I'm the only person I can tell, you're the only person I can tell about this. You're the only person who understands. So that helps a lot. And it's also a very special relationship when that's.
Well, and when you have a coach, and for those of you, here's the biggest thing. It used to be people will say, oh, I have a counselor. And right, look at my body language. They would do this as if you feel like it's weak, right? But it is the greatest strength to say, I need help. More, I'd say, don't you agree? If you've been doing this for as long as you have, the last 5 years, I bet you've had more clients than you ever had because From the pandemic on, people started saying, all right, now I feel like I've been given permission to say I'm not okay in my business. I'm not okay in my relationships. I'm not okay as a human being. I've got struggles, men and women both, right? So if you gave a percentage of the clients that come to you, is it more men or more women?
It was more men, probably the first 5 years. And I was very much, I don't want to say I was a secret because I wasn't. People in their lives knew about me, but they didn't publicly talk about it in their brands and things like that. And then it's shifted a little bit. I'd say I was probably 60-40 with high on the men, and now I'm maybe 60-40 with high on the women.
Interesting.
And it is interesting because a lot of the women, actually all of the women that I've coached have that syndrome you're talking about. They know they're doing everything for everyone, and at the end of the day, they're not okay.
No, they're exhausted. And then they do it again, and they barely sleep, and then they have brain fog, and they think, how can I continue to do this? You can't. And at some point, something's going to stop you.
Yeah.
Health-wise, normally is what happens,
Or
right?
they go to a doctor, and the doctor talks about all these things where I'm looking at them going, you're not communicating with the people in your lives. You're not being honest about how you really feel. You know, we have this bad habit of thinking people aren't able to deliver to us what we need when we've not communicated what we need, because maybe we don't really know.
Yeah, they can't read your mind.
Exactly.
Find your voice is one of the biggest things
100%.
I'm sure you probably tell them. Again, Jamie Thurber. So if somebody wants to work with you, what's the easiest way for them to get in touch with you?
If you go to jamiethurber.com/coaching,
Okay.
there's an application right there, and that comes straight to my email, and I review it and set up a time to have a phone call.
Yeah. So if you want to elevate your brand, we're going to talk about branding, by the way. We're going to take a quick break. So Punchline Productions is changing. Has it officially happened yet?
It has.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're going to see all this all over social media. You'll hear us talking about it because our show is part of this brand. What is the new name? We're going to talk about that and even some merchandise and some branding that she has on her own. So still much more to come. Don't go anywhere. Welcome to the mobile Monica Verso at my favorite restaurant. There's something about a coffee house that's just very warm and welcoming.
Gives you that sense of community.
What are you most proud of since you've opened it?
I cry easily. I'm thankful for everybody here.
You opened the door during the middle of the pandemic. You got the best Italian restaurant in the United States. Here in St. Louis, you put us on the map. Does it scare you? You go through fear?
Terrifying.
So how do you get past the fear?
We find something to laugh about.
Welcome back to the Real Monica Adams Show on this Monday. By the way, yes, throw a jacket on. It is cooler this morning. It was 45 when I was driving in this morning.
Yeah, it was
right?
chilly.
Are you happy that the weather's changing?
I am, yeah.
Are you like fall?
I want to wear sweatshirts.
Yeah.
I definitely do.
I was like, okay, bring it on. I am ready. By the way, this is the debut of all the Halloween. Do you like the Halloween decorations?
Yes, I walked in this morning. Very cute.
Okay, and do you like these guys, or are they bothering you all? The strobing. We were like, does it change to something? No, it flickers. So if you all have watched the show for the last 2.5 years, you remember that the palm trees have always been a big, big part of the set. We don't have a window in here, so the poor things have been dying. And you probably have been like, is that dead behind her? Well, it fits the season, so what the heck? We thought we would just make it this. We'll let them die in front of us, and then we're going to switch it out. So if you are just tuning in, we've talked about a lot of things. This is the beauty of streaming, that you can go back and listen to the show. We've talked about her relationship with Tony Twist. We've talked about her evolution. We've talked about her illness. And again, for a lot of you that deal with these things, you can see how to overcome. Let me go back to that News You Can Use story. Would you want to know about the risk factor for cancer?
I think I would.
See?
Something I've been thinking about a lot lately is Alzheimer's runs in our family. And I heard that you can get tested
you
for
can.
that too. And I'm like, oh, I should probably do that.
So you would?
I think so, because I know there are certain things that you can do with
Correct.
that specifically to help prevent or at
Right.
least prolong those symptoms from coming in. So especially, yeah, I think I would want to know.
And for those of you that have said no, I wouldn't, if you think about it, evolution of medicine. I mean, if you go back
True.
20 years, 30 years ago, being given a cancer sentence, right, is like a death sentence for a lot of people. But there are many cancers that they've come so far for. Anyway, so we did that in the news. Just wondering what you all would think about that. Feel free to drop in comments later if you do a little hashtag replay. Stephanie says, congratulations to you and Tony.
Thank you.
Good morning. Good for you, Jamie. That's awesome. Pete, you said Angie who? Angie Hess. She's the owner of Spas and More, and she comes on with us on Wellness Wednesday every week. So be sure to check her out. She's on her own health transformation and helping all of you. My daughter does Woobles. So cute and great instructions. So many cute little. She put stiffness. What did you say?
Stuffies,
It's stuffies.
little stuffies. That's what my nephew
I'm gonna have
calls
to look
them.
this up.
He bought a kit and gave it to me to make for him because it was a little Minecraft kit. Yeah, he was very excited.
All right, so we went to the break talking about branding. Okay, so you probably have heard me say Punchline Productions. There are many shows that have been underneath that, but Punchline has officially changed, and the new name is, there it is, True Line. And why True Line, Jamie?
So we were all thinking, because there's a group of us that are owners of the company, and we were thinking about where we wanted the company to go and what a lot of our shows are about, which is very similar to what you encompass here, is positivity and helping people. And so we wanted the company to be known for a place that you can count on, a place that feels of integrity with a solid foundation. And so we picked that name. The line part of it is to give a nod to our former name,
Sure.
Punchline. And the true is just something that I feel like the four owners are all very different people. We all have very different personalities, but having that integrity base is important to us.
Absolutely.
So we figured it kind of fit.
Honesty, truth, authenticity,
Yeah.
all the things that a business wants when they're working with someone who's
Yeah.
going to be helping their own brand. So you just launched this, and so you'll be seeing this all over social media. You'll be hearing us talk about it. First of all, I just want to say this, and this is where I am so proud of her. You came into this and you were consulting.
Yes.
How many months ago?
I started consulting with them in March.
Okay, and then all of a sudden she evolves to, oh my gosh, I'm going to be an owner of this.
Yeah.
And big time, by the way. You were not ever involved in media in the past, have you been?
No, just my own podcast and helping
but
brands like talk about their brands, but that's it.
right. So has it been scary?
It has. It's been scary and a cool learning experience.
Fulfilling.
Absolutely fulfilling. Because what I realized, there was one day that I thought, why am I doing this? It was like one of those busy days that all these things are happening. I'm like, what am I doing? Does this even make sense? But I realized that I committed my life to telling my story and to storytelling to help other people. And what I do with the media company, guys, is I help them take someone else's story and then whoever the guest story is. So we're sharing dozens of stories a week.
Right.
And it's just a really beautiful fit. So it is a really fulfilling thing to have a part of.
And again, so that's the thing. When something scares you, a challenge really can be one of the most beautiful. I always say that the greatest accomplishments in life and the greatest reward in life comes from the most uncomfortable walk, right? And so here she has been since spring, all of a sudden going, wait, I was just going to help with, okay, here I go. Let's put the boots on, strap it up, and let's go. So what do you want for True Line? What is your hope for this if you look a year to 5 years from now?
Yeah. My hope is that we are able to bring in some more shows that have the desire to do what we do, and they have a message, they have a mission that they want to get out to people. And the nice thing about how we've designed it with True Line is that you come in with your guest and your idea, and we do everything else. And that's the great part.
Right.
So we deliver you a finished product at the end of the day, because most of the people who have shows have other jobs and are busy and have other
Right.
things. And so to be able to help, if we could double our show count in the next year to 5 years would be amazing. So we have 9 weekly
I was just gonna
shows
say,
right
tell them
now.
how many. So, and from those 9, it really varies so much. You've got my show, you've got Jamie's show. We've got one for those of you that are very big in supporting our heroes and law enforcement, Built Different.
Yep, Built Different.
We've got Builders of Authority,
Yeah,
right?
Very entrepreneur based with Builders of Authority. We have Culinary Adventures with Sean, which is really fun. He's just on his 3rd episode. but we're having a good time planning his episodes. He's a lawyer who loves to cook. So
we all need our creative
Yeah.
outlet, right? You've got one thing you do and then you're like, oh my gosh, I want to come over here. So
Yeah.
that's part of, we just debuted the new kitchen just
Mm-hmm.
a couple of weeks ago, by the way. So, obviously, hopefully, we do Foodie Friday and we're looking for more great chefs and restaurant owners, or we end up just cooking and talking about life, which
Yeah.
is always fun. From a lifestyle health brand. So it's with Jamie Spicer and his wife.
Yep.
And the name of their show is?
It's Precision Life
Precision
Presents.
Life. Precision Life Prevents?
They present Younger by the Minute. It's a very long name.
Say it again. Precision Life
Precision Life presents Younger by the Minute.
Okay.
So they talk a lot about health preventative and aesthetics and things like that, ways that you can improve from the inside out.
And Zach and Pat, who have been on the show. A lot of
Yeah.
these people, by the way, were very big, and all the hosts showing up on each other's show just to support. You've seen Corey Schonhorst on the show doing Mental. He was doing multiple shows, but
Yeah.
Mental is his baby, isn't it?
Mental is his main show,
Yeah.
So he has a lot of these people from all kinds of walks of life come on and talk about their journey to creating, or to not stopping, I guess I should say,
Right.
whatever their passion was.
Yeah.
It's that grit piece of continuing.
And then Ashley Malin, who I was on her show. And she, by the way, I've been inviting her on the show, but she's got to get up early.
I was thinking about it this morning when I was driving, and I'm like, I got to get Ashley. Ashley is a great brand, and
This is where we heal.
Yeah, Ashley was one of my coaching clients.
Yep.
It's actually what led me here. Was we were looking for a different studio that we felt like we could be at home with, and that we could really, because her mission is her baby,
Yeah.
and so it's become like my little niece that I take care of, and this is where we heal, and she helps a lot of people who have been through really toxic, terrible situations
Yep.
while she's growing herself. So it's been fun to watch, and it's a very inspiring show.
Absolutely. And again, you can find all these shows with Trueline. So I am very big on all of you going, oh my gosh, I love this show. Well, I want to come over here and inspire this. It's also helping, again, the growth of everyone that we currently have. But as Jamie said, if you have an idea for a show, or maybe you're doing a show somewhere and you're just really not really happy with the production quality of it all, reach out to Jamie and find out how you can bring your show here. I mentioned also from a merchandising standpoint. So you have your own merchandise and brand. How long ago did you start that?
About 3 years ago.
3 years ago. Okay.
So this is really random. I started growing microgreens, and right now we're paused, which makes me sad, but it was because of the physical health aspect.
Sure.
It's actually more demanding than you'd expect. But as I started doing that, I found the name Home Sweet Defiance, and because we live in Defiance. And so along with that, I started sharing things that I personally love in that brand. And so I have a couple of different shirt designs and then some custom tees that we make. And when I say we, it's me and my mom at my house mixing big bowls of herbs. And there's stuff that I was mixing for myself all the time, and now there's packaged up for people to buy.
I did not know that you did that. I love microgreens, by the way.
I'm hoping to get back to growing soon, because what we would
Please.
do is we would grow, and we would we would grow to order. And so people would place their orders, I'd plant accordingly, and within 10 days they'd have their orders and I would deliver them. And we were in our local co-op and a couple at Circle 6.
I was just going to, okay, so that was yours?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That is actually where, like some of their sprouts and things that they have there, I will take that, and that's my salad. I don't need anything else. It's just like, give me this, give me a little olive oil and some balsamic vinegar, and I am in love.
Well, and it's jam-packed with nutrients. So it's like you're actually making those bites count, where a lot of lettuce, it's just kind of a filler.
Well, and if it's iceberg, it has no nutritional value at all. If you all don't know that, just start switching. We need more greens and more phytonutrients in our lives. Rose, you're so sweet. Rose just said 2 powerful, awesome women.
Oh, that is very sweet.
I can see why Tony loves her. Oh, very, very sweet. Absolutely. So, okay, before we wrap up, we're going to take our final break. 2 things. I'm going to ask you to pick the devotional.
Okay.
And then I want to know, when times get tough, right? Whether it's in a relationship or it's all the chatter that's out there of the people that want to weigh in on what you should do or shouldn't do in your business life, in your personal life, how do you shut it down? This is a really powerful moment for you all to understand. How do you shut it down, and how do you keep moving forward? Because again, we've talked about her health struggles. We didn't talk about from a domestic violence standpoint. I do want you to touch on that also. So how do you overcome all of that and be, right? Going back to your podcast, Operation B, every day waking up and saying, I've got this. And all of you, listen to what her answer is, because we all have struggles, some worse than others. It does not, though, diminish what you are feeling, even though you might say, oh, this person's going through something worse. As we've talked in the past, however you're feeling, it is just as hard as what they're going through. So don't compare yourself to others. But how do you become the best version of yourself? We'll ask that. So from the devotional standpoint, it's 100 Days to Freedom books, okay? From fear and anxiety, shame, depression, anger, or overeating. Which one do you feel that you and the world need to hear today?
Let's talk about shame.
Shame. Okay. That's the one we'll do today. That, and then we'll talk about, again, if you don't know, there's so much that, oh yeah, Babs just said microgreens. Yes.
Yeah.
Microgreens seems to be the fast growing business, Pete says. All right. She's bringing it back and we're going to all get it from her. All right. Don't go anywhere. Our wrap up of our show with Jamie Thurber when we return.
When you want to feel good, you work out at Crunch. You don't go here, because here feels bad. But here we help you feel good, feel strong, feel rejuvenated.
Join Crunch Fitness today.
Welcome back again. We have been visiting with Jamie Thurber. If you're just tuning in, you're late to the show. It comes on at 7 o'clock, by the way, every morning, but it's okay. I know you're rushing around and you do you, but that's the beauty of streaming. You can now go back to the show and go, okay, great. I've caught the last 10, 15 minutes of it, but I want to know the rest of it. We talked about a lot already here in the last 45 minutes. So if you did not get a chance to get introduced, Jamie Thurber, again, has been in studio with us. So Jamie, you have overcome, and Ashley talked a lot about it on her show as well, domestic violence. How long ago?
I was 21.
Wow.
Yeah. I just turned 38.
So young. And how did you overcome that?
It was, I think part of it was knowing that I just had to kind of take it day by day. Looking back on that time is interesting for me because I didn't have a therapist. No one I knew had a therapist.
Did you talk to people about it?
I talked to my mom about it a little bit. I didn't talk about it very much at first. My parents had no idea. That's the other thing that happens a lot of times with domestic violence situations is we don't tell the bad things because we're not going to leave. And so we don't want you to hate that person.
Right.
And that's kind of the pattern that happens. And so no one knew what was going on until like the last minute. I called my dad and I'm like, hey, can you pick up this U-Haul that I rented? He's like, what? I'm like, I got to get out of this house now.
But you got out.
I
You know how
did.
many women, and again, some of you might be listening right now and you're still in it, and they have been so beaten down and told that they're nothing. Did you go through all of that?
Yeah. And it's very controlling. That typically is a big piece of the puzzle, thinking that you can't. There's a large piece of control that happens that makes you feel, and sometimes it's the reality that you can't do anything without that person. They take money, different things. And so I believe in my experience, what happened was I couldn't think too much about it. I knew I needed to leave and I had to leave and I had to figure it out. Because every time I think about it too hard, I'd talk myself out of it.
Right.
And so going back, I think getting through that was letting myself, like my boss knew at the time, and I moved back into my parents' house and I just was a hot mess. I was just a mess. Like I remember thinking my dad was still working nights at the time. So he would be in bed in the morning while I'm getting ready for work, and I would just be crying and listening to the same song over and over again every day. And eventually, though, you come out of it. And I think when you can acknowledge that that's a genuine part of your life, and that doesn't mean that it has to define you, but it also isn't something that you shouldn't talk about.
Right. Because you grow from it. And so you were in that relationship for how long?
About a year.
But again, a lot of you, you've been in it for a year, 5 years, your entire life. I've worked a lot with different organizations here in town of women that come from that kind of a walk of life, and then they finally get out of it. And then it's just so much healing that has to take place. How hard was it for you to trust again?
It was really hard. The first relationship I had after that was with someone that I'd actually known for like 15 years. I knew him from high school. And I think that's the only reason I was able to do it was because I'd already felt safe with him. I knew him from before.
Safe. What a powerful word there. And I'm hoping that those of you that have been through it, that you do trust again, because there's some incredible men and women out in the world. but it's hard. And especially when you think about people, because it's these qualities that they're drawn to, suddenly they're like, why do I keep picking the same type of person?
Yeah.
And then they're in it again and again, and then they feel like they can't get out of it. I'm so glad that you were able to empower yourself and that you had someone to lean into and talk to. Your mom, your dad was there for you. Some people don't have anyone.
I know. Yeah, it's very hard. That's why the foundations and things that exist are so important, because a lot of people don't have anyone.
Talk about it, ladies, please, because there are so many people waiting here for you to try to help heal you. I'm so glad that you've overcome that. I did want to touch on that just a little bit. Okay, before we get into this, the fun part that I wanted you all to know about, if you haven't seen it circulating on social media yet, is this barbecue sauce, all right? And so Tony has his own, but there are multiple of your favorite St. Louis Blues alumni that are part of this. There it is, by the way, there on your screen. It's called Bare Knuckle Barbecue Sauce.
Yeah.
And so if you haven't gotten this yet, you can. How did this all come about?
Oh, goodness. So I didn't necessarily plan on being part of the barbecue sauce company, but it was actually Corey Schonhorst's idea, and he kept nudging the guys and saying, come on, you guys, I think this would be such a good idea. And finally, he got a couple to agree, and then we found Joel from 2 Men in a Garden, helped facilitate, and he's our partner in the company. And so he helped provide everything. We got a couple more guys who were like, okay, I guess we can do that. And then Tony was like, I'm making my own sauce if I'm doing it. And so he got with the guys in Kansas City and came up with his own sauce, and it morphed. And then it was one of those things where I was sitting in a meeting going, okay, this needs to be its own business. And I've known all those guys for almost 15 years.
Yeah, let's run through. So you've
I have
got
the box. I can show
okay.
you.
So Tony, as we just mentioned, Tony has his own, and his is called what?
Carolina Twisted. So it's actually a Carolina, it's a mustard base. But the thing about it is that he made this on purpose to where it's not sweet like a lot of Carolina barbecues. It does have enough honey in it, though, that when you cook with it, it creates a little like crust on your meat.
What have you all made with it so far?
He puts it on brisket.
Brisket, okay.
Ribs.
Okay.
Chicken, it's really good on.
Okay.
I can't remember what else. Bacon was his other thing. He's a big bacon eater.
What man isn't, Jamie?
Yeah, big bacon guy. So he puts it on bacon.
We need to do a Foodie Friday show with all the guys.
We should.
And then we can go and we can start in the kitchen, and then we can go out, because we have this green space, by the way, and we can use the big green egg out there and grill.
Yes,
let's make it happen.
That would be fun.
So we've got Tony. We have Reed Lowe, who is a big teddy bear, by the way.
Yeah.
His is called
Sweet and Lowsy. It's actually sugar-free.
Oh, I like that.
So Reed's is sugar-free. And then we have Jamie Rivers.
Who's been on the show. Yes.
Black-eyed bourbon.
Black-eyed bourbon.
He's a bourbon guy.
Okay.
So that was his pick. And then we have Cam Jansen, Fist of Fire.
And that's
his is
spicy?
a little spicy. And then we have Soupy. So Jim Campbell. And his is sweet and savory.
So I would go for probably Tony's and Jamie's. Well, I don't know. I like spicy though. But do you all do this? Do you take multiple barbecue sauces and then you create your own?
Yeah,
right. So
it
I would
happens,
so
for
where
sure.
can we get this?
So right now, these boxes will be what's sold in stores and at markets. So these are actually in a few stores, which we have on our website here in town, and they're getting into more. They're in some Ace Hardwares. They're in the Elevator hardware store in Valley Park.
Okay.
There's a couple of small places right now, and we're working on getting into Kohl's hopefully soon.
Oh,
and
I love it.
A couple places like that. Yeah.
But until then, you can go online.
You can go online. We also have and buy this individual sauces, and we also have a very cool collector's edition that's going to make great gifts. So this is online only, but this has all their digital signatures on it. It's actually going to only run through this particular season.
Okay.
Of hockey. So it's a collector's box.
The penalty box.
The penalty box, because all these misfits that we have, as they like to call themselves. So it's been a fun company. It's just getting started. We've got a lot of stuff coming from it. The guys are getting out there and talking about it on the news and different things, and they're excited. At first, I think we all just kind of thought it was going to be a random idea.
Yeah.
And now it's turning into a brand,
It's got legs.
they're having fun. Yeah. There's a lot of work going behind it, but I trust we're going to get there.
I
So
like that box.
Here we are. Isn't it great?
Yes. Again, bare knuckle barbecue sauce. So for those of you looking for a unique item, for those that are on your Christmas list, this would be a great one for them. So if you've got guys, and what guy, I'd say 90% of the men that I know all love to grill.
Yes.
Right? There's some going, I'm not really good at that. Okay, well, don't judge yourself. Just go out there and have fun with it, and then start playing around with the barbecue sauces. So yes, don't you like that, by the way? That's an idea for a Foodie Friday. We'll get all the guys together. together.
That'd be fun.
And we'll do a cook-off. And then I won't know who made what, and I'll tell them who I like best.
That'd be fun.
Mama D, love this topic and your decor. Thank you. Thanks for your encouragement. You have no idea how you have touched my soul in a super inspiring way. Thank you and have a blessed day. Okay, yeah, you're right. She said trafficking happens today using technology with little help. Think about how we can protect our rights. It's here and very few people can even wrap their head around it. Some states started implementing laws, theft of intellectual property. Yeah, you can send that to me for sure. But yeah, there's a lot of horrible things that are going on around us, and then you find your way out of it. And so, I mean, again, look at how far she's come, looking at herself in her 20s, getting into her 30s. So what would you tell your future self?
My future self? You can do whatever. You can do anything you want. I didn't think I was going to be doing any of the things that I do now.
Right.
It's not like I woke up one day and said, I'm growing up, I can't wait to be a podcaster when I grow up, or like a business coach. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Right. What did you want to be when you were growing up?
I wanted to be a veterinarian.
Oh, really?
Until I found out how much college I had to go to, and then I didn't want to do that part. Yeah, and I didn't. Then when I was actually a teenager, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but I liked running businesses.
And by the way, and that comment is so key. All of you that have kids that are in high school and in college right now, if they don't know what they want to be, don't push them into something.
I agree.
Right? And then, by the way, all of you that have been in something for a long time, it's okay to be intrigued by something else. And at any given point, it doesn't matter your age, make the shift. You will be so empowered by doing that. And hopefully you wake up every morning and you can't wait to get into whatever you're going to do. That's how life should be, by the way. I love it. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
And so shame. Okay, so this is the one that Jamie chose. So 100 Days to Freedom books. They're from Stephen Arterburn, by the way. Daily devotionals, and she picked shame. So let's see. A lot of times when my guests pick their book, it's eerie how much it speaks to what they needed to hear. So let's see. God Gets You is what this one's called. You know my thoughts even when I'm far away. Okay, so this is Psalm 139, verse 2. Vincent van Gogh produced over 2,000 paintings that sell for millions of dollars today. But did you know that during his lifetime, he lived in poverty and only sold one painting? He also suffered from severe depression. Imagine the people in his orbit walking by him every day and not giving a moment's notice. They looked right past him, maybe right through him. They certainly didn't get him at all. So have you ever felt as though nobody understands you? I think we all have. Maybe that feeling is part of the reason you veered into sin. Perhaps the frustration you feel with your spouse or your parents or your boss or your coworkers left you feeling isolated. Maybe you felt as though there was no one you could talk to about your feelings. She just said, when she was going through the domestic violence, at least no one who would understand. Often people have affairs, not because they're desperate, but because they're desperate to be in the company of someone who at least pretends to understand them. The good news is that God gets you. He gets you the way a creator gets his creation. He made you, after all. He knows what you're made of and how you work. You can have thoughts and feelings that don't make sense to you, but you can't have thoughts and feelings that don't make sense to him. When people are battling shame, they tend to look for something that will help, something like a devotional, for example. That's good, but maybe it's not just something you need, but actually someone. Don't let a preacher or an author or a book or a podcast take the place of God. He's the one who really gets you. And Ann Lott said, one reason I've maintained my walk with God is that no one else, not even my beloved family or my close and loyal friends, really understands me. Well, we said that before, right? Nobody understands you better than yourself. But it is an incredible circle when you start trusting enough people to say, you get me. I get you. We're going to bond together. So here's your prayer. Lord, when I think of how many people I don't understand, I can't be surprised when people don't understand me. Thank you for your understanding. It's a rare and precious gift. God gets you. I like that. By the way, have you seen the series, The Chosen?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I am just in love
I
with
haven't
this
watched
thing.
it all.
I haven't either. I'm on season 4.
One of my clients mentioned it to me. We were talking about hard things in life, and she said, when I watch that, it makes me remember what it actually means, like what the purpose of being a Christian is, because it gets so skewed in what everybody else is saying. And Have you all seen it, by the way? Yeah.
He just walked on water, and I cried.
Oh.
And I didn't realize that he did the loaves and the fishes on the same day that he walked on water. I'm like, what a big day.
Right? That was a lot in one day.
Have you seen that one yet?
I haven't.
Okay,
No.
so I'm in season 4. For all of you, if you don't know what we're talking about, it's called The Chosen, and it is on Amazon Prime, right?
Yes.
Yes, Amazon Prime. So I am behind in this. I don't even know when they filmed all of this, and I don't even know how many seasons there
I
are.
don't either.
But
I think I'm in 2.
all day yesterday, I binge watched The Chosen. Because we're getting ready to do Faith in the Fields. By the way, if you didn't hear at the very beginning, this is going to be amazing. We just came up with this. It's a pop-up. So a lot of you are like, wait a minute, it's this weekend? Yes, but sometimes pop-ups are the best things because some of you don't want to be big planners. So this is just being put together for you, but I think it's been on my heart and in my soul for a long time. And I cannot wait to walk the fields with you. We're going to do, again, a guided meditation flow to get your body loosened up, to get your minds, and to be authentic. And some of the things that Jamie was talking about today, my dear friend Brittany Phelps, who will be with me, she's walked that life and has empowered herself. She just went through a second divorce at a very young age and stepped out of something with a person who had an addictive personality and didn't know that when she got into it, but she's going to be very raw and talk about those things. So I want you to come to this and be ready to understand that we got you and it's a safe space and it couldn't be a more beautiful place. Becca gave us the forecast. It's going to be gorgeous. Sunshine and 70, a good day for Faith in the Field. So go to my website, therealmonicaadams.com, click on events, and on the 26th, that's where you can purchase tickets. Some of you have already done so. Let's see. God is everything. We need to trust in him, Linda says. The Chosen, you're looking for it? There you go. Yep, you're going to love it. I'm telling you right now. Just get ready to just say, don't talk to me for a couple of days. I'm just watching The Chosen. Jamie, thank you. And again, one more time, Operation B, listen or watch her podcast. She drops a new episode every week. What day?
On Tuesdays.
On Tuesdays, okay? So jamiethurber.com, by the way, is her website where you can find out all the amazing things that we've been talking about today. Do you ever listen to Joy FM, by the way?
No, I haven't listened. I feel like I'm always listening to podcasts when I'm driving.
You need to. And once it happens, you won't turn the station off.
Okay.
Kim Underwood, who a lot of you know from afternoons on Joy FM, she's with us tomorrow, and she is a cancer survivor from a very rare form of cancer. She's going to inspire you. She does it every day, by the way, on Joy FM. And we're going to talk about the big last week that they had of all of you, because it's you all fund that station. And that's what I love, right? You want more of that inspiration and the music that's just hitting your soul at that point. A lot of you really stepped up and got the Care Bears or the long sleeve shirts and everything. They did this huge radiothon last week. So we'll let Kim tell you all about that. And again, just overcoming. We just mentioned, would you want to know about cancer markers? I wonder if she would have wanted to know. And then to say, how am I going to get through this? So she's on with us tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Jamie, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a beautiful, blessed day. The same goes to all of you. Remember, you can be anything that you want to be in life, but the greatest be you can be is kind. God bless you.